we're back. Just like that, like we were never gone, Ava. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to coverage of the APA 8-Ball Doubles Championship from here at the Westgate Resort and Casino in lovely Las Vegas. This event brought to you, of course, by the American Pool Players Association, part of our Showdown Series being held in conjunction this week with the APA Pool Player Championships. I'm your host, Jason Bowman. I'm joined by legend of the game, Hall of Famer, league operator, striking Viking. I have all
Keep
these.
it
I
up.
can just
Keep it
keep
up.
going.
Yep.
That's the measure of success. Like when I have to narrow down the list of descriptors.
That's
So
a message
the
of a
lovely
long career.
Ava Mattia Lawrence. We are so fortunate to have her here. Ava, always a pleasure to see you. Thrilled that you're here with us too to call these
Me too.
matches because I don't think people want to hear me do that. So
Well,
we're fortunate.
you may want to avoid calling shots, but
So again, folks, we are watching the 8-Ball Doubles Championship. This event began a little over 48 hours ago. We had 384 teams. We have two teams remaining in the finals, and they're going to be shooting for a $5,000 first place prize. Both of these teams just wrapped up solid wins in the semifinal round, and they have moved on to the finals. Before we meet our finalists, let's take a look at some of the specifics regarding the 8-Ball Doubles format, get everybody familiar. Of course, all of our events played by APA rules. The doubles is any combination of men and women, men or women. Of course, in the finals, we have four gentlemen, as it turns out tonight. Players alternate shots. That's important to note. They do not alternate turns. They will alternate shots. And one coaching timeout per team per game allowed. As we saw in the earlier matches, that sometimes can be pretty significant. So the time to call those timeouts is usually crucial. And matches are played according to the APA 8-Ball Doubles Championship Handicap Race Chart. I believe we have two teams that are combined skill level of 10, which means we will be racing to 4 for both of them. So should be a nice even match. It's been a great tournament thus far, Ava. We've got 5 events. The first one about to be over with, right?
yeah, it seems like it just got started, but there was an awful lot of teams to get through, and it's been great. I mean, I was just watching some of the mini mania events in there, and
That's a good time,
it's
yeah.
a whole room of tables, 242 tables in there, and it's been a hell of a party so far. I gotta
Sea of
tell you.
pool tables,
You
yeah.
bet.
If you've never seen it firsthand, highly recommend it, folks. The APA Championships here in Vegas are something to see, especially if you're a real fan of pool. I don't know
You
that there's a
bet.
better stage.
You bet.
So should be a good evening of pool. We're excited to be here. We've got Jeff Hayes, the tournament director, talking to the participants, giving them some last-minute reminders, if you will, on the match. We've got Matt Gillespie, the floor manager, and of course the referee looking on. So we take these matches serious when you get to this point, right?
Oh, there's no question.
Well,
I
we
mean,
take them all serious, but man, you've got like 3 officials there, and this is the real deal here, folks. These players are playing for $5,000, and more than that, I think is the glory of being a champion. You know what that's about, right?
you know what? Coming in second is great. The money is great. The fact that you made it that far out of so many teams, wonderful. But there's something about going all the way and winning the championship. So
Sure.
it's not just the money, but the feeling that you actually won a title of this stature is a pretty great thing.
For
So
sure.
a lot on the line.
So our finalists this evening, we've got from Baltimore, Maryland, we got the Bank Shot Flyers, Roland Newkirk and Jeremy Brown. And from West Monroe, Louisiana, we have Pete and Repeat, Trey Funderburg, and Jim Mullins. Looks like the players are getting last minute things together, checking IDs, which is always important at our events.
Absolutely.
We
Y-
always check the IDs.
Just got to
Nothing.
make sure the right person has the right skill level and is in the right place at the right time.
Absolutely. Better safe than sorry. Looks like everything's checking out. Of course, we had the chance to watch both of these teams in the semifinal round a couple hours, well, not even an hour ago. Both very good matches, so we anticipate another excellent match here. Looks like the players are about ready to lag. I was spending some time with the teams earlier, just talking to them a little bit about, where they're from, interesting things, and so the guy at the table here, Jim Mullins, he and Terry or Trey from Pete and Repeat, both bounty hunters.
That's pretty
They're
amazing.
freaking bounty hunters. Seriously.
What a team that
Bail
is.
bonds bounty hunters. I'm thinking, wow, that's a good storyline. But then we've got Roland and Jeremy, and they're telling me how Roland is a Vietnam vet. So pretty cool story there too. So we got all walks of life in the APA. I tell you what, you will meet people from all kinds of different backgrounds. So
There's no question. And these teams, as you said right in the very beginning, is that they're very evenly matched. Oh, wait a minute. Well, you can't get much closer than that. So we have a winner for the lag.
almost pocketed the ball in the leg. All
But
right.
like you said, the fact that they're so evenly matched, both these semifinal matches were pretty close, especially Bank Shot Flyers. They won a 4-3 Hill match.
Mhm.
And both teams have a skill level 6 and a 4. Any combination 7-3, 6-4, or less. It doesn't necessarily have to be a skill level 10 max, but that's our max at the APA Doubles Championship. So you can have a 4 and a 4 playing, a 2 and a 2 playing. In this case, it just worked out this way this year that we have 2 6s and 2 4s in the finals. So skill
Yeah,
level 10, race to 4, even race.
it's interesting here. They've got Jim, who's the skill level 4 for Pete and Repeat breaking. So let's feel good about his break, and he
Oh.
breaks right off the table.
And
Not
he
the
opened
start
the
he was
balls
looking
pretty
for.
well, too.
Yeah.
Not a lot of major issues here. The 2 ball and the 14 is a little bit of an issue right there. Most pockets, most balls have an open path to a pocket, so this will be some experience here, moving the cue ball around a little bit.
Yep. And it looks like Bank Shot Flyers are going to send Roland to the table first. Roland is their skill level 6, so their higher rated player. They want to try to establish kind of control early, it looks like.
And usually it's fairly obvious to me which one I would choose. In this situation, both options will be pretty decent here. There's nothing major going on anywhere, so it depends on what Roland decides here. He can take his time and just look around since nothing was pocketed and he just got ball in hand. Eight ball is open. Well, he's looking at the solids.
So many choices.
Well, if he's going to take the solids, I would deal with the shot that he's dealing with right now and make sure to get that out of the way. That's the only one that could give problems later on.
Of course, with the break, scratch on the break, he's got to stay behind the head string there.
Any other time during the rack, it would be ball in hand anywhere on the table. Only after the break, it's behind the line. Which makes perfect sense, because if not, when there's only a ball or two left on the table, and if they're in the kitchen, that means you would actually have to kick at a shot after your opponent made a foul. So obviously that makes no sense. So
this is Jeremy Brown at the table. Does his job. He'll turn the table back over to Roland here. And again, this is the alternate shot format that we talked about at the beginning. The players, when they make a ball, they alternate shots as opposed to full racks or games.
all right, now the key here is to come up. He would love to come up for that 5 ball. Get that out of the way right there. All right, that'll work. Kind of a little bit of a funny angle. The good thing about this shot is that if he just puts a little bit center, maybe a little low, then he can come over on for the rail for that 2 ball that's on the cushion on the left-hand side.
Of course, Jeremy was the man in the semifinals. Put the match away there on a somewhat difficult shot in the 8
He made a
ball.
really good shot.
Sealed the victory in what was a pretty tight match. And right now, Bank Shot Flyers look to be executing well.
Yeah, Jeremy opted, instead of holding it for the 2 ball and getting that out of the way, he's played perfect position on this 6. And it looks like it's close, but it looks like that 1 ball may go in the corner pocket. If it does, then it's all about cue ball control here for Roland to come up just a little bit. Or he can float it down, but the main thing is making that 1 ball. Ooh, he came way too far or way too short, one or the other. Too short on the two, too far on the one.
We'll see what Jeremy can do with it.
And we know Jeremy is a thinker. He's going to
Yeah,
take his time.
methodical for sure.
Yeah. He will think of every possibility, every option before he makes up his mind. And you know what? Once you have decided what to do, this is the time to actually think. Once you go down to shoot, you totally commit to the shot. Don't hold back. Don't think anything when you're down. Make up your mind while you're standing up and then give it 100%, whether you think you're right or wrong. I see that mistake a lot, where especially lower skill level players, when they're
Right.
playing a full team, in our team championship, they feel so insecure. Am I right making the right decision? They're worried
Yeah.
that the coach or the captain is sitting there questioning their decision, and they don't stroke, they don't play the complete shot because they're
Yeah.
worried that they're making a mistake. That's no good. You make your mind up and then just go for it.
Yeah. I gotta imagine that's even magnified here at this with a match of this magnitude. I mean, these
Sure.
teams have got to be, a little jittery. Now I know that I talked to Pete and Repeat. They have some experience playing out here in in different events. Roland, as a matter of fact, who's been playing pool for 40 years, has
Wow.
never been not he's never even been to Vegas. This is his very first trip to Vegas. So not only is he playing in the finals of this huge pool tournament, but he's experiencing the city of Las Vegas for the first time. So kind of a cool angle of, and we have a lot of people. We've got almost 2,200 members out here,
Right.
a lot of which are coming for the first time, and
Yeah.
what a great experience,
You
for your
bet.
first time out here to be able to enjoy a tournament like this.
And he said to me, he said, I'm just taking it all in. I mean, they just won. I said, congratulations. He said, hey, can I take a selfie? I got to get ready for my next match. I
Nice.
said, sure, sure. He's just, enjoying the whole
That's
experience of
great,
it.
and
So,
that's really what it's all about out here.
sure.
Everybody that comes out, they're really already a champion. They've either won their league or they've won a qualifier tournament of some kind. So they've had some measure of success, and everything else is kind of gravy at this point, right?
Right, exactly.
Again, you can see how methodical Jeremy, and we've seen this all throughout the semifinal as well. He's definitely takes his time, no rush to make a decision.
And
And this
he's,
decision,
well, it's about the only thing other than jacking up the back of the cue, trying to
yeah,
draw the cue ball up. I mean, he just tried to make that, roll it in, and let Roland shoot the tough shot on the 8. And instead, he has left an opportunity for Pete and Repeat here.
the bounty hunters.
Yeah, and it's wide open. I'm a little surprised at this choice right here.
Hmm.
He didn't want to take any chances, but he has left
Gonna
a
leave it
bank.
to Roland, huh?
I think that one ball can be banked past the 11. I would have to go for this, absolutely.
Ooh,
Oh,
just
wow.
missed. Just missed.
But he did manage to block that pocket, so that
Yeah,
was something
key.
positive to come out of that. And now there's no missing allowed for this team because with that one ball hanging right there, it's going to be hard to hide him behind. I mean, he could maybe tap this up and try to hide him behind the 10, but the slightest mistake and they have an open shot at the 1.
Again, if you're just tuning in, this is the 2016 APA 8-Ball Doubles Championships, live here at the Westgate Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. All part of the APA Poolplayer Championships going on here this week at the Westgate, one of 5 championships, the first to be decided. We have Pete and Repeat from West Monroe, Louisiana at the table right now. You're seeing Jim Mullins in the red, his partner Trey Funderburg in black. I had to ask him, I said, where did the name Pete and Repeat come from? Because neither one of your... They said we couldn't make up a name, our league operator gave us one. So I'm thinking bounty hunters, though. I mean, it seems so logical, right?
I know.
I guess it's a little late in the tournament now to change their name, but that would have been my vote.
Absolutely.
Looks like Trey takes care of business there.
And again, their major issue here is that 9 ball. They got to come below it and shoot the 9 ball up in the opposite corner down there by the 8. Going to try to put some low on this and drift over for the 11 ball, possibly for the 9. No, still got to deal with the 9. And all you can do if you're bank shot flyers is sit there and wait. Roland and Jeremy are just sitting there waiting to
Yeah.
hope to get a shot. They know they've got that one ball hanging right there, so they know that
Looks like they're
Pete
having
Repeat's got to work at this.
taking advantage of their time though to kind of talk about their next move too. It's interesting. You'll see teams that are you see them very close, and I know in our last semifinal, one guy was at the other end of the room
Yeah.
watching, and everybody has a different dynamic and how they handle kind of the pressure of the moment.
Well, Trey, that's at the table right now. He is the 6 on this team, so he's the higher skill level player. And I think they're gonna go ahead and make this combination, give this table back up again. That's not a bad move.
Yeah.
This shot on the 8 ball is not the greatest, so now
Jeremy has his work cut out for him
and
here.
he sure does.
I do still think they have a timeout though, and it looks like they're going to talk about it a little bit.
And it was a really smart shot. He left the ball hanging right there in the pocket.
Again, they're limited to one timeout per rack or per game, and in this case, they're probably about the best time they can use it here. Players look like they're checking to see if the ball is frozen to the rail. A nice overhead or overview shot here of the finals room. Here at the APA Pool Player Championships in Las Vegas, I'm Jason Bowman, joined by Ava Mattia Lawrence, walking you through the finals here in a critical match for $5,000.
Well, this is tough to know what to do here. I mean, no matter where they put the cue ball, unless they somehow miraculously hide it behind the 8, which is near impossible to really play that kind of a shot. I don't know here. He's going to try to bank it. No, he's just going to try to tap it and freeze it down there.
All right. Turns it back over to Trey.
I don't know. I think I would have either... Oh, my goodness, look at that. He hit it too thick, right on it. Did he corner hook him? I wonder if that point in the corner pocket is in the way, or can he make it? He's cueing it like he can see it.
Go for it. He
did, and look at the position on that. Coming out, some left spin, bringing it out towards the center of the table. Well done.
Huge opportunity for Pete and Repeat. I'm actually a little surprised at... Are you surprised at that shot Roland took there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I would have, and I normally don't recommend the shot of kicking at a ball there, but the odds are that no matter where you put it, unless he would have hit the left side of the 8 and forced them to have a tougher angle to keep the cue ball down there once they make that ball in the pocket, I would have just gone ahead and kicked at it, I believe.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, it almost worked out in their favor because they almost scratched there. So tough situation all the way around, but it did put Pete and Repeat, the bounty hunters, on the board.
Yep. In a race to 4, so they need 3 games to win. The bounty hunters. See, that would have been the best name.
I have a feeling they're going to try to come back next year with that name. It's too good. The bank shot Flyers, they knocked out a really strong team in the semifinals that actually has won here in 2014 in the 9-ball doubles championship. So that was a team that are used to playing against each other, know each other's tempo and speed and what they prefer kind of a shot next. And
looked like he went with a little bit softer break there than he did the first time. That was Jim Mullins, and now you've got Trey Funderburg of Pete and Repeat. As Jeremy Brown in the blue and Roland Newkirk in the black await their next opportunity at the table. Still a long way to go in this match. If you're enjoying the streaming at home, happy to let you know that tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon on the East Coast, we'll have the semifinals of the 9-ball shootout, one of our individual play formats. So be sure to tune in. Should be some exciting pool. Bright and early tomorrow, Ava.
Bright and early. Early to bed
Did
tonight.
you leave a wake-up call yet?
No, but I
Don't
will,
forget.
believe
Don't
me.
forget.
No crap table tonight.
Okay.
All right, so that was kind of a strange defensive shot there by an experienced Troy Fundenberg. I'm not sure what he had planned there, but he left a wide open shot for Jeremy of the Bank Shot Flyers. And here comes Roland. Steady Roland. Makes very few mistakes, although we did see him scratched on an 8-ball that almost cost him a match in the semifinals.
Yeah. It's a nice shot, but that 8 just ran too far. And
he's got a little finesse game going. He doesn't hit the balls too firm.
yeah.
He kind of rolls the balls in and plays on the correct side of the ball. Very, very cautious, very carefully. And here we go again. A lot of safety play. Nobody really wants to draw first blood here. Looks like the only ball available here might be the 12 ball, possibly in the side pocket if they're going to go offensively. Yeah, I just missed it.
This looks very similar to a lot of Jeremy and Roland's semifinal matches at this point. Lots of clusters of balls. They tend to like to kind of pick away.
You bet. It was such an offensive match on table 1 before.
Yeah.
And then Jeremy's and Roland's match was a lot more defensive. So we're going to see here. Well, he's definitely shooting offensively here, I would think. All right, very good. Left a 6-ball for Roland in the side pocket.
Again, in this doubles format, so important that they not only focus on their shot, but on the shot that they're leaving their teammate if they pocket the ball. So, thinking a couple steps ahead, which I guess is a sign of a good pool player, right?
Absolutely.
I'm sure you're always looking a few steps ahead, Ava. Oh, maybe looking too far ahead.
You know, a lot of times too, when you're thinking ahead, like he wasn't thinking probably about the 6 or the 2. He was thinking about these other balls, what to do, and it's very easy to miss the shot you're planning to shoot on if you're thinking too much ahead. So. All right, like you can tell, there's a lot of issues here. Not one, but there's several problems we have. Making this, they're definitely going to have the 10 ball right there. Oh, unless he didn't stop there. He came out and got creative.
There
Look at that position. Straight in on the 13,
issues.
yeah.
Or alleviates maybe some issues.
Okay, I would think he's going to try to draw this back for either the 10 or the 14. No. Wrong again, Ava. Did he leave an opening there? Can he make the 10? Then that would be beautiful.
Yeah, tough to tell. We're from our vantage point here. We're probably about 20 feet angled and a little behind the table.
Yeah, it looks like that's perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
Came out smelling like a rose on that shot, and this is perfect.
Not a problem.
And again, a little bump here, a little bump there, and perfect. I've been playing the wrong game all along. The whole playing position thing, I've been not creative enough, I don't think.
Again, this is Trey Funderburg, skill level 6 for Pete and repeat. I know sometimes with the doubles it's hard to keep track of who's who. And he sets up his opponent, Jim Mullins, in the red.
I'm sure Jim would have loved for him to come off the rail a little bit more than that. The 14 is obviously makeable in the corner pocket. And if he can avoid that 7, as long as he doesn't run into the 7 ball, he should be able to roll this into the opposite cushion, back out again.
He's got it. Wow.
Perfect.
So Pete and repeat suddenly with a very good opportunity to take a strong lead.
Made it look easy, didn't they?
Trey Funderburg puts Pete and repeat up 2-0 again in this race to 4, the 8-ball doubles championship. Be interesting to see how Bank Shot Flyers responds, because we didn't see them play behind in the semis at all. They held the lead throughout the match.
And it's interesting.
Almost relinquished it late in the match, but
yeah, and they kind of controlled the match by playing that defensive game, and it was kind of a little bit more of a thinking man's game. And these guys were playing more of an offensive game, and so far it's played right into their hands. They're a very good offensive team, these two. But also smart, like we saw in the first, where they played a couple of key shots very well, very smart plays that got control of the table and gave them a chance to get out. So, two different playing styles.
Again, we'll see Jim Mullins with the break. The third consecutive break for him. Looked like he softened up with that second break after he drove the ball off the table in the first. So we'll see what strategy he employs here.
I put a little more power in at that time. Got one cluster there, the 14-4 and the 8. And I believe they made one of each. Nope, they have the stripes, I believe. 1, 2. Yep. So what they have to contend with is that 14 ball. The other 3 are laying just perfect. Two very serious guys, these two. Well, actually all 4. You've seen a lot of giggles and a lot of laughing here during earlier stages of the tournament, but now everybody is dead
everybody's
serious.
Got the serious faces on.
You bet. Can't say this, I blame them.
Well, the nice thing is, you know, these teams know that no matter what, they're going home with some nice prize money from their hard work this week. So.
And that was ball in hand that he tried to play safety. He knew that the 14 ball was in trouble, so just trying to lag that ball to the cushion. Came up short, just hit it too soft, so it's going to be ball in hand and a lot of work to do here for the Bank Shot Flyers. We'll see if Roland can start them off. Obviously that ball right there, if they're going to go offensive, this is obviously the ball to start with.
Looks like Jeremy didn't concerned about that, so he's going to use the timeout. That's interesting.
That's early to start the timeout.
Early, and for the skill level 4 to call the timeout.
Doesn't happen very often.
No. He didn't like what he saw there for some reason. So they're going to talk about it, try to come to a consensus.
Well, the thing is, obviously, they have more balls on the table, so they have more of a control. So if they're going to play defensively, that's fine, but they're not going to be able to create much. So he's saying, go ahead, make this 11 ball, and let's sit down and see what they're going to do with the 14.
And he's changed his mind, so.
And he tried to make them both.
And he did.
How about that?
Wow. So, timeout well worth it there?
Not really, because now you're in the same situation again. So the whole idea was to, I mean, the perfect world, you would have given the table back here, I would have left the cue ball right there on the side cushion, because now they're in the same position. They made one, but they made one of theirs as well, but you didn't really gain anything by that move. So I think I would have to just go for it here. All you need is an angle on any of these shots where Roland perhaps can shoot the 2 ball into the corner with an angle and go up and break those balls open a little bit. You got the 7 right there. Sometimes you can play too defensively. All right, here we go. That was a good shot. That was a really good shot. Now he's got, everything is blocked. It's going to be very difficult to hit this 14 ball. Unless he can go right between those with some spin.
Missed it.
Too much spin. All right, let's see what we're going to do now. At some point, to be able to win a game, unless the other team makes a scratch on an 8 or something like that, you actually have to shoot offensively. So you can only do this for so long.
Right.
At some point, you have to go for it. And when you have ball in hand in a situation like this, you
May
know,
not get much better.
it's not going to get much better than this. You can do this all day long, but why he's not dealing with the 4 ball earlier is a little surprising to me. But again, I guess you can pick off a few balls, maybe make the 1, the 5, the 6, and then play the same type of safety again, hope they don't hit it. And that way you only have a couple of balls to make once you get back to the table as opposed to 6.
Looks like the 1 is where he's going. Not much of an issue there.
We know Jeremy likes to really think things through.
Yes, he does. I gotta assume he gets that from Roland. You know, I
That's
don't know
a
how long they've
good
played together,
possibility.
but
Uh-oh.
Well, that's not what he was looking for.
And again, that's why I like when you have ball in hand, break it open then, because then you can control where it's going to go. Here he just had a good angle, but he had that glance off the 8. But when you have ball in hand, you can move it a millimeter over and control not just the breakup, but also what you're going to do with the next shot. So
already down 2-0. That may have been a very critical mistake for Bank Shot Flyers. We'll see.
Although I don't like what he just did here. Whoa, flirting with it. Playing position off another ball. That's risky.
Jim Mullins to
Tough to
put
control.
Pete and repeat up. 3-0. We'll see. He's marked his pocket. Looks like they're going to go ahead and use their timeout. Talk about it. Brief timeout.
The only thing I can imagine that he said there is make sure you hit it softly so that if you do miss it, we're blocking that pocket. So even if they get ball in hand, you got the 4 and the 2, or do something. Don't. Yeah. And he did not need that at all. They are on the hill.
Wow. They have very quickly taken command of this match.
Well, they're two strong teams, Jason. I mean, both of them played phenomenally the whole tournament and in the semifinals, but every match has its own life.
Sure.
You never know what's going to happen. So it's not like one team is necessarily better than the other. It's just that, the stuff happens.
Right. Yeah, and I think we've seen a couple mistakes that maybe we didn't see in that semifinals from Roland and Jeremy. They were very methodical in that semifinal. It seemed like they didn't make, other than the scratch on the 8 ball, it didn't seem like they made many mistakes.
Exactly.
And I think we've already seen a couple here that have really come back to bite them. So
right.
We'll see, though. Always the opportunity. I've seen crazier matches. So
yeah, no doubt.
In a race to 4, just got to kind of start crawling and trying to get back into the match. Looks like we've got some folks coming in, starting to fill up the room. Very interested in seeing who emerges from the first of these 5 tournaments as a champion. Of course, this match is for $5,000. You can't feel bad for the runner-up, though. They're still taking home $3,000. So
yeah, they can have some fun
it's
the rest of this week.
It's one of those deals where either way you're feeling pretty decent. But of course, you make it this far, you want to win it. And
now there's the power break by Trey there that we have seen. We saw earlier every single time, and all the balls are now open.
They got to be feeling good.
You bet. 10 ball is the only major issue here that I can see. Once the 9 is taken out, even though it's going to be a pretty good severe angle, you're still going to have a shot at this 10 ball down in the corner pocket. So you need to move the 9 ball out of there at some point. The 8 ball is a little bit guarded, but that shouldn't be a problem. That still goes in either corners or side pocket somewhere. So moving that 9 ball out is big.
They seem pretty in rhythm with each other right now. How important is that, Ava, in a doubles match? I mean, I know it's not something that you commonly do, but you've played in some doubles matches in your time, I'm
I
sure.
have. I have played with different players throughout the years, other, male pros and female pros, and sometimes you just connect. If you have the same kind of rhythm, then it's almost like you hit the last shot. But if you're playing somebody where you're off a little bit, it throws you completely off, especially if one is more methodical, the other player is fast and loose.
Hmm.
That doesn't click. And if you have fun together and support each other, I tell the players in our area that all the time, is that that's the number one thing, is forgive yourself, forgive your partner, and have fun out there. That's the number one thing.
Good advice.
Okay, let's see. We got to get something going here now, boys. The 6 ball can be made off that 9 if nothing else in the corner pocket. So this is all about just making the balls. You can see the 6 ball, it goes clear. You don't even have to make it off the 9. It goes clear into the corner pocket. So this is about finding a pattern. They already took their. Did they take their time out here? No, they did not. They did not. They
Yeah,
still
that
have
was
one.
the yeah
That was the last.
in the last match. Yeah.
So again, the biggest mistake that I see a lot of players make, oh, holy smokes, he almost went too far, is to, when the balls are open like this, because you have a choice as opposed to 9 ball where there's 1 ball you're trying to play position for, is get lazy with the position because, well, there's all these balls. And that's how you can get out of line and make it, what could seem like a fairly easy run out, make it very difficult because you get on the incorrect side of the ball, play the wrong pattern, or just don't pay attention and get general position. That's how you can get in trouble.
This is Jeremy Brown for Bank Shot Flyers. Skill level 4.
One thing you want to remember, and this is something you learn if you start playing the game of straight pool, or if you play 8 ball seriously, one thing that you want to look to do is, when the balls are open like this, is play in sections. You don't want the cue ball to go and make the 6 and then the 3 and then the 4 and then the 1. You want to kind of clear them off in different areas. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is, if you're a skill level 6 or 7 player or pro, you want to always deal with the issues first. The balls that are on the rail, the balls that are tied up together, any issues you find, get to it as fast as you can. But
Right.
now when they're open like this, is take care of one area at a time. So best thing to do here is play position for this ball on the side. Nope, too far.
Again,
Overhit it a little bit. That would have been perfect playing that ball on the side, then you could play the 1 ball, then the 3, then the 8. So now they're going to have to come up with a different game plan here. Getting from the 3 to the 4 is going to be the tricky part. Jeremy's looking to make this 1 ball and just roll the cue ball down into the rail, come out a little bit, but he's going to need an angle on the 3 for Roland to be able to get on that 4 ball, since the 8 is tying up the other pocket. It looks like he's going with low here. Watch out. Nice shot.
Wow.
Any angle?
Very nice.
Yeah, he's going to have his work cut out though, getting on this 4 ball. It rolled about 1 ball too far over to the left. If he would have been straight in, he could draw it straight back, but
So now at the table is Roland Newkirk. He's a skill level 6. Of course, both teams are combined skill level of 10. For Pete and Repeat, you've got Trey Funderburg, who's a 6. You've got Jim Mullins, who's a 4. Here at the table is Roland Newkirk, skill level 6. And on his way to the table, Jeremy Brown, also skill level 4 for the team of Bank Shot Flyers. Both teams racing to 4. And Pete and Repeat currently leading by a score of 3-0. So one more victory for them, and they will be the champions.
And while you were saying all that, I realized that I was so focused on how he was going to get on the 3 that I didn't forgot that he got perfect on the 4. So they made the 4. Now we get to deal with the 3 ball. But he's got to watch out for a scratch here. If he hits center ball here, he's going to go straight into the corner pocket. So he's going to have to hit a lot of high to avoid the scratch. High on the cue ball, and that's where he's cueing. He should be fine. And all right.
It's all up to Roland.
Left a tricky 8, but Roland, being the steady 6 that he is, as long as he avoids the scratch here, I would bet on Roland making this 8. This is what's gotten him here. They have a little tough time finding their marker.
The old pocket marker, the lucky pocket marker. They see all kinds of lucky pocket markers out here. Everybody's got different items.
All right, so he's on the 50-yard line a little bit. He's decided to shoot it in the backwards corner. I would have personally picked the other corner because he could go, you know, if he doesn't scratch into the corner, he could glance off the 9 ball here and scratch in the corner by going that direction. So,
And they're gonna talk. They're gonna talk about it. Jeremy calls the timeout. Roland looks a little unsure, and so they're gonna talk about it. It's obviously a critical moment in the match.
You bet.
This shot may mean the difference between another rack.
Talk about do or die.
Yeah.
And you see the angle here. If he plays it in the corner he's planning on it, the cue ball will be coming this way unless he really puts a lot of draw on it. If and Roland likes to roll the ball in, and it looks like he's flirting with the corner pocket, and if he manages to avoid that, he's flirting with going off the 9 and carrying it into
it's like they're having that conversation now.
The corner.
So just a reminder, folks, tomorrow morning, at least tomorrow morning here on the West Coast, 9 a.m., we'll have semifinal action of the 9-ball shootout. That's noon for you folks on the East Coast, so we hope you'll tune in. Should be some outstanding matches tomorrow, leading up to the final match. 3 tiers of the final match for $10,000 each, so should be some exciting pool coming at you tomorrow and then for the next several days. Got the wheelchair championships. All right, here we go. Yep.
And I have a feeling that last in the semifinals, that 8 ball that Roland scratched on is kind of weighing on his mind a little bit.
He's thinking about it.
They tend to stick with you. It's amazing how the ones you miss tend to stick with you for a while.
I miss so many that I have to forget them, Ava. I can't. I miss a lot of them. I wouldn't be able to remember anything else.
So you've learned to let go, then, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's a necessity if I'm going to function otherwise.
All right.
All right, so looks like they've made a decision.
You really hit this with authority. Make sure you hit it like you mean it. Nice shot. Beautiful.
Very impressive. Wow, under tremendous pressure, too.
And so good use of a timeout there,
huh? Yeah, absolutely. Bank shot is on the board. Bank shot is on the board.
And I love that, you know, because the two of them, you can see how they get along playing together. Because how often do you see a 6 could be a little irritated when the 4 calls a timeout?
Right.
You know, like, get away from me.
Yeah, especially when, you know, a
lot of pride in there.
Junior,
yeah, exactly. But Roland doesn't have it. You know, he's more than willing to discuss it for a while, listen to Jeremy's opinion, and I love that about these two.
Yeah, that was great. So they'll attempt to climb a little closer here in this next rack. Breaking for the first time this match is Bank Shot Flyers. Of course, Pete and Repeat took the lag, so they broke. Won the first 3 games, so we'll see what they can do with the break here. Working on the rack there is Jim Mullins from Pete and Repeat out of West Monroe, Louisiana. Looks like they're satisfied with the rack. Jeremy Brown, skill level 4, will have the break.
Great break. That nice side break. Cue ball came in and hit him again from the side after hitting the cushion. And this is looking pretty sporty right here. Made a stripe on the break. I like this layout. The 8-ball is in kind of a little bit of a funky spot, but
Was that the 9-ball on the break that dropped? Okay,
yep.
so they'll take stripes.
All right.
Slowly but surely start to whittle away.
Has a couple of options here. I believe the 11 goes, the 10 ball goes, 12 goes. I don't think that they're frozen, the 3 and 8, but they're very close together, so that's going to be an issue for whoever gets to it first, unless they move those balls out of the way. Well done.
Excellent. Well, I've got a moment. Want to make sure we acknowledge our sponsors, Aramith Billiard Balls, our friends at Action Cues, and of course the folks over at Pool Dog. You can get all your billiard stuff online at pooldog.com. Tremendous supporters of APA, not just this event, but all year round. So always appreciative of them, as well as the Westgate Resort and Casino, where our tournament's being held this week here in lovely Las Vegas. Roland Newkirk, Jeremy Brown, bank shot Flyers attempting to climb back into the match, trailing 3-1.
Somebody sharking the players over here. All right, so still working at it here. 3 balls to go. He makes this and gets towards the other side of the table there for the 2 balls that are up there. Look out.
Ooh.
And
He's got a clean shot still?
well, Roland has a clean shot, but he's on the rail here, and it's going to be kind of a tricky shot on the 10. That's all he's got because the other ball is straight in. And like you were saying, in this particular tournament, it's pretty amazing. It's $5,000 for first, 3 for second here.
Each of the 2 third-place teams we just saw took home $2,000.
$2,000 each, and it's over $600,000 paid this week.
Yeah,
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I don't think that includes the like the travel assistance and the hotel that these players that qualify get to come out. So it's
yeah, and the
lots of prizes. Of course, we have the big Poolapalooza pool party tomorrow night. Should be a great time. Good thing it's not tonight, too. I just looked outside in between matches. It was pouring here.
It's raining hard
I
out.
know. So, but forecast looks great for tomorrow night. So if you're here at the Westgate or in Las Vegas, make sure you head to the pool tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. It's going to be a great time. Have a lot of fun. Do some giveaways. And I know we got Florian Kohler will be there doing trick shots. And be a really great time. Should be a nice night.
And if you haven't seen Florian Venom, if you haven't seen him do his stuff,
everybody's seen him now, right?
Yeah, well,
He's
if you haven't seen him on YouTube by now, at least, then
he was here today doing a show, and the players really love him. It's amazing.
Nice shot.
He does. Very nice shot by Roland.
Now here we come. Here's that 8 ball.
It's interesting because this has been all offense from these guys, and typically not what we've seen today necessarily, but they don't seem to have an issue. Looking at that 8 ball, though.
Yeah, he's aiming it as if it goes in the corner pocket. So if it goes in the corner, the problem he has right now is that the cue ball's kind of going the wrong direction. Cue ball's going to want to head. There you can see it's got very much a clear shot at the 8 ball in the corner.
Grabbing the bridge.
The problem is that if he's going to try to play position for the pocket that right down here, is that the cue ball now is going to want to head to the right. And you want it to go to the left to leave some kind of a good shot for Roland.
Every shot's so critical at this point for these two.
All right, here we go. This will be a bit of a tester here for the ever steady Roland. And again, he's flirting with the scratch again here, Jason. If he hits this with center ball or draws it, tries to draw it a little bit, it's going right into the side pocket. And if he rolls it forward with high, it could carry him off the 3 ball again into the side.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very close. And again, last time when they had this situation, the very last rack, they thought about it, looked at it for a while, and worked it out. We'll see if he can do it again.
Looks like he's going to take the shot.
And he's following it. Got to make sure that cue ball doesn't carry him off the 3 into the side pocket. He avoided that, but he missed the ball.
Yeah.
No. And
all right.
bit of a smorgasbord here for Pete and repeat.
I'm calling them bounty hunters.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
bounty
yeah.
hunters.
You
These
just
guys are
renamed
bounty
it,
hunters,
didn't you?
folks. I mean, when it comes to team names.
How uncreative can you be? I mean, how obvious is that? No, we can't come up with a name, so the league operator has to give you a name. And how can the league operator not give him that name? We'll have to talk with whoever's in Monroe, Louisiana. Okay, this is not the shot I would want. Ew, anytime you have to queue up like that over a ball.
This is Jim Mullins here.
Oh, no problem for Jim.
Jim looks like a bounty hunter, too, I must say.
He does.
They
both do.
Yeah,
I can
believe
both
it.
be convinced, yeah.
I'm sold.
Good guy. Had a chance. Guys, both of them. All 4 of these guys had a quick chance to say hi after the last round, and they all seemed like really good people.
We meet all different kinds in the APA. All backgrounds and walks of life.
You bet.
Pretty special thing. Jeremy and Roland hoping to get another shot here.
That's all you can do. That's the thing about billiards, is that once you give up the table, then all you can do is sit and hope.
Mm.
It's not like you can hit him back with a strong backhand or a nice lob or something,
Right.
because you're completely defenseless in this point. Okay, we'll see what kind of position here. Here's where things could go wrong right here. Anytime you go into it, oh, he's not going into it, but watch out, watch out. That was a really good shot, avoiding going into that 4, coming around. Absolutely perfect position.
So you got to like their chances at this point.
Yeah, unless they lose their head here the way they're shooting.
And you can see they're looking like they're in rhythm. 2 balls away.
Take your time here. Nothing wrong with that. I think we have reached the end of a road for bank shot flyers here. The bounty hunters have this left.
The bounty is within sight.
You bet.
And take just a moment here to kind of calm themselves, and
this is just for the crowd right here. You know, just kind of.
This has got to be something, though, you know, when you get this shot.
Yeah, it feels good, believe me. It feels really, really good.
There it is,
All right.
Your 8-ball doubles champions from West Monroe, Louisiana, Pete and Repeat. Nice show of sportsmanship after the match here as the 2 teams shake hands and congratulate each other on a great tournament. So at this point, folks, we're going to sign off. Reminder, we'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. The 9-ball shootout. Tune in and check it out. But now we got to go hand out some cash. So, Ava, thank you for being here. We'll look forward to.
My pleasure.
Don't forget to set the wake-up call.
Lots more pool tomorrow. I won't.
All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. And folks, have a nice round of applause for our runners up in this year's 8-ball doubles championship from Baltimore, Maryland, Ben Shot Myers.
Yeah, buddy.
Jim. For real? Hey, turn around. Trey, stand with Jim. I got the 8-ball doubles behind y'all.
Oh, hey, I forgot to tell y'all, they give us the check. Y'all get a card.
All right, y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. Can we get a smile? Okay, got it. Thank you.
Would you look over again?
Can we go get back to